Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the April 11th, 2022 Mason City Council meeting. I want to welcome everyone back. I hope everyone had a little bit of an opportunity to take a break over spring break and maybe enjoy themselves. I would like to call the meeting to order and ask for a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Here.
Councilmember Chance?
Here.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Present.
Councilmember Hackey?
Here.
Councilmember Grossman? Here. Councilmember Stricula?
Here.
Mayor Spaeth?
Here. Okay, first of all, I'm going to ask everyone to stand. Chief Carter has asked for Mason Sergeant Nick Fantini to lead us in a prayer. And then after the prayer, we're going to have presentation of colors with the City of Mason Police Color Guard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone would stand, please.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you with so much to be thankful for. To live in this country, to work and live in this wonderful city. And Lord, we ask that you would bless both, and that you would bless our leaders nationally and locally. Tonight, we are especially grateful for one of those leaders. Thank you for Chief Todd Carter and his 39 years of service to our city. We humbly ask that you would bless Chief Carter and his wife Lisa as they begin this new journey in their lives. We ask as they head into retirement that you would take all the stress and worry that comes from leading men and women serving as police officers, and that you would ease the difficult memories of things no one should ever see. Lord, we pray that they would live their lives to the full and feel your peace. We pray, Lord, for all of our first responders and ask that you would keep them safe. Thank you for allowing us to come before you and for loving us the way you do. We pray all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated. Okay, Eric, do you have any items that you wanted to share?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to ask favor of council if we can move item 7, which is resolution 2022-5, next on the agenda. I think that would be convenient for a special guest as well as many members of the audience.
Make that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
What I'd like to do in introducing this resolution is ask Chief Todd Carter to come up to the lectern. Chief Carter has served the city for many years. He is almost our most senior employee throughout the city. There's only one other employee that's been here just a little bit longer. And last week, employees had an opportunity to express gratitude to Chief, as well as to recognize we're going to go ahead and round up his years of service to 40 years, given some of the things he's had to put up with here. We're giving him some hazard duty recognition. We were also able to recognize Chief Carter with a key to the city that we were able to find, but I told him, because I don't have any leverage over Chief Carter anymore, unfortunately, This was my only leverage. He doesn't get the key to the city unless he showed up tonight. So now that he's here, I think he'll be okay that he take this home with him.
So, Chief, first off, thank you for your service. 39 years is amazing. I understand Eric kind of had to force a little bit of time out of you at the end here, but seriously, we appreciate all your time, all that you've done for the city. We've got an amazing police department that has been under your guidance for several years. You know, we got to know each other a few years ago. I'm told that today is National Board Game Day. And my understanding is that you're going to be potentially a little bored coming here in the very near future. So, as a token of our appreciation, we've got the Mason Monopoly game, of course, which everyone has to have, and a few other things there to kind of keep you busy. Seriously, thank you. All the best.
Thanks.
Chief Carter, we are humbled and amazed at your 39 years of service. My goodness, you have seen us grow from a town of fewer than 10,000 residents to now about 34,000 residents, and I think 30,000 some employees during the week, on a big week. Yep. So that's a very big city, and we wouldn't be the city that we are without you. You've grown with us. And there's something that you might think about a police chief as being a bit gruff and scary, but not this one. He's a gentle giant and the gentleman of gentlemen. So we are so thankful for you. And in honor of our culture of wellness here at the city, we want you to stay well. That's a Fitbit. Get your steps in with Lisa, take her on some long romantic walks, and enjoy your retirement. Congratulations.
Well, Chief, I'm going to say echo a lot of the sentiments. Just thank you so much for your years of service, the sacrifices that you made, time away from your family that you gave to the city. And to prevent you can only play so many hours of Monopoly. So to prevent you from getting even more bored, we have a history of Chief Carter in the City of Mason's Bicentennial Edition around Mason, Ohio. And I know we haven't gotten to know each other very well just over the last 2 years. And what's interesting is I was only 2 years old when you started with the City of Mason.
Somebody had to say it.
So, congratulations, Chief. Enjoy your time. Thank you. Yep.
You know, 39 years is a long time, and I know you spent a little more time than maybe you wanted to, but I understand there were some issues from some previous chiefs you had to resolve. Honestly, I've got a little package here, some shirts, I don't know, shirts or t-shirts, and some water bottles for you and your wife. That way you won't have to go ahead and wear maybe some old uniforms on the outside when you go on vacation. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, Chief, I'll walk over here because I like to see how our relationship has evolved. You know what I mean? I've been around Mason since 1980, so I was a little guy, and it used to be probably I was probably not behaving, and there was a few times I see some other officers in here, and I just love the heritage that you bring to this community. We talk about 39 years of service, but talking through this with Eric tonight. He was brought back to Church Street when you were born, and you lived right next door to Chief Farrell, and Chief Farrell's and your brother.
Explains a lot.
I know. So that definitely explains a lot. But we talk about that, and that's something you don't see very often. You get to see, and as Councilmember Grossman said, we have watched this city grow from 3,000-4,000 people to where we are today. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see you be able to grow with it and walk out of here after 39 years of distinguished service. So thank you sincerely from everyone's heart. So I get to give the coins. So I don't know if we have a coin of you yet, but I think there should be one of these. But these are the bicentennial coins that you can find with a ton of our heritage. And you certainly, you need to be in there. And we appreciate everything that you did.
Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate it. Very welcome. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I don't know if I agree with Councilmember Bradburn. I think we pretty much spoil our police department. I don't think we've ever said no to any of your needs. But if I could have Lisa come up here. You thought you were going to get away without coming up. You're good right there. First, I want to say thank you for your service to our community. Everything that you've given to us as a community, the safety that everyone feels every day is because of the awesome job that our police department does to keep all of us safe, and that is under your leadership, and we thank you for that. But behind a successful man is always a wonderful and successful woman.
Yeah.
And all of the nights, the sleepless nights, the worrisome days, all the home-cooked meals, all the support that you've given to him has helped him be the man who he is and the success that he has given to our community. So these are for you because you are a big part of his success. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Diana. I appreciate it. Thank you for your words. I appreciate it. Yeah. You can take it.
Okay, Chief Carter, the last gift requires council action before I can actually come and give you the gift. So I'm going to ask for a motion to read Resolution 2022-5.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Jeff, would you please read it?
Sure. It would be an honor. Resolution 2022-5, commending Chief Todd Carter for his outstanding dedication and service to the city of Mason, Ohio. Whereas Police Chief Todd Carter is retiring after giving over 38 years of dedicated service to the city of Mason, Ohio, serving as police officer from 1983 to 2000, police sergeant from 2000 to 2009, police lieutenant from 2009 to 2010, assistant police chief from 2010 to 2016, and chief of police from 2017 to 2022. And whereas, in addition to serving in all rank positions during his tenure with the Mason Police Department, Chief Carter also served as a detective in investigations from 1996 to 1998, as well as the first school resource officer at Mason High School from 1998 to 2000. And whereas Chief Todd Carter has witnessed significant growth in the city of Mason throughout his career, from a city of approximately 9,000 residents and a police department of 11 sworn officers in 1983, to over 35,000 residents and a department of 47 sworn officers in 2022. And whereas many policing initiatives were established during Chief Carter's leadership of the police department, including the Campus Safety Program, Coffee with a Cop, Bike Patrol, and the Good Choice Youth Ticket Program. And whereas throughout his service to the City of Mason Police Department, the agency has remained an internally accredited agency since 1997 and highly respected throughout the Mason community. And whereas, even more significant than the growth and changes within the department and the community, Chief Carter has been a leader, mentor, friend, and has devoted the last 38 years to protecting and serving the residents of the city of Mason. And whereas, with honor, integrity, and compassion, Chief Carter has impacted the lives of many, and his influence will have a profound impact on the future of Mason. And whereas a grateful community of Mason council members, employees, and residents wish Chief Carter continued success and happiness in his retirement, his daily leadership will be truly missed. Now, therefore, be it unanimously resolved by the Council of the City of Mason, Ohio, Section 1, that Chief Carter is hereby given the commendation of the Council of the City of Mason for his outstanding and distinguished service to said city. Section 2, that the Clerk of Council is hereby directed to certify a copy of this resolution to Chief Todd Carter. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be in force from and after the earliest period allowed by law.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor?
Yes.
If I could just add one thing, because I think it's worth repeating. Mason benefits from a long history that Chief Carter has certainly accelerated and enhanced of safety services. And I also look out the audience, and there's Matt Connor and Bob Jack and Paul Lindenschmidt. We have a history, a depth of folks, both looking backwards as well as looking forwards. But one thing that is both amusing as well as maybe symbolic that bears repeating is we also have a bit of the baton being passed. We have Chief Brummagem in the fire department who's going to stick around after Chief Carter leaves. And Chief Brummagem bears a somewhat distinct connection with Chief Carter. The day that Chief Brummagem was brought into the world is also the day that Chief Carter began his service with the City of Mason. So I think that may be a fitting passing of the batons as far as safety services for the City of Mason. I'm sorry.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask Todd if you will come forward here, please. Now, I hope that I'm making Todd sweat a little bit, because, see, Todd and I have known each other a long time, long time. We, probably 50 years, I think, and that's kind of embarrassing to say, I think, in a way. It turns out that Todd and I first went to school together in 6th grade. Todd lived way out in the country, way out in the country on Cox Smith, over on the, I guess, north side of town. And then I lived way out in the country, the opposite direction on Snyder Road. So I went to Western Row Elementary. You went to Mason Heights, right? I went to Central K through 8. Oh, well, okay, I'm wrong about that one. But in 6th grade, Mason went big time and made a middle school, and that's when they got all of us together, and we had 6th, 7th, and 8th. And so that is the first time Todd and I met. We were in the same class. I was showing him the little, I don't think it's really a yearbook, but I was showing him the yearbook from back in 6th grade. And I used to always like to say, I've got a lot of stories I could tell on Todd, but he would come back at me and he goes, well, I got a lot on you too. So I never told any of them. And we have a lot of mutual friends together and sometimes we gather for lunch, and I've always been told that someone, Eric, would not allow Chief to come to the lunch because maybe, there might be a little issue or something with us having lunch together or something like that. But now you get to come, right? You can be there because Eric can't say anything about it.
That was convenient of Chief Carter. He's going to have to find a new excuse because I'm not going to cover that.
But anyway, all joking aside, I mean, this is just such a thrill for me to stand here with you, because I guarantee you, when we were back in 6th grade, I don't think 50 years later we would ever think that you and I would be standing here now, and you're retiring as the Chief of Police of Mason. You have just done such an awesome job. I hear so many compliments about our police department, and that's because of the leadership. And you had great leadership prior to you, and you continue to be that great leader, and that's why people love our police officers in the city of Mason. They are gracious, they are courteous, they are kind, they're helpful. I can just go on and on and on. So I want to say thank you so much, and I know that you rose through the ranks. I remember when you were a resource officer over at the school, and I know you were a detective, and it's pretty amazing when you stay one place for as long as you have. How many people stay it's almost 30, well, pretty much almost 39 years. You've been in one place and been employed by one place. There's not a lot of people that can say that, so that is so awesome. And I'm really sad you're leaving, though, but I understand. And I'm serious when I told you, when that phone rings and it's Eric or Jennifer, don't answer it. Do not answer it, because he will try to get you back in some way. You know that. So here we go. I want to give you this resolution, and I want to say congratulations to you. We appreciate it so much, and I want a big hug from you. Get a picture? Yeah. We're going to get a picture, and then we're going to get Lisa to come up and get a picture, and then we'll get all council in just 1 second here. But we really do appreciate, I just can't say enough nice words about, I always did call him Todd, and you know what, you don't have to call me Mary anymore either, because Eric doesn't, yeah. Okay, I think right now we're just going to take about a 10-minute break because, oh, I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm sorry, Todd, I'm sorry, did you have some things you want to say? I'm sorry. We'll let you say something, okay.
Yes, and I will be brief because I don't want to get emotional, and that is, yeah. You know, since I announced my retirement a month and a half ago, I've had an awful lot of people come up and wish me well and thanks for your service and those things. And it occurred to me that I'm the one who should be saying thanks. To be able to work in my hometown for 39 years in what has always been my dream job. I just can't say enough about that opportunity. This is the only place that I worked. I tell people this all the time. In 39 years, I never woke up one time and said, I hate my job. There were plenty of times I didn't want to come in, you know, whether I was tired or the weather was crappy or whatever, but never once can I say that I ever woke up and said I hated my job. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve this city. And I mean that from when I came in the door day one until today. I consider it an honor to serve my hometown. When I go home tonight and take off the uniform for the last time, I think I'll be able to look back with a smile and end my career with no regrets. And it's not because of me or anything I've done, but it's because of everybody that's here, all the law enforcement officers and chiefs that are here to support me tonight, all of the fire department, everybody in our community has always been there for me, and that's something I've always appreciated. So hopefully, in the near future, when I figure out what the rest of my life holds, I'll be back to see you all again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again so much, Chief. We really appreciate you, and we hope you have a really good retirement. Let's just take about a 10-minute break so that we can allow the Chief a little bit of time to maybe to say goodbye to some people, and we'll be back here at 7:40. Thank you. We're going to get started, and we are now on to item number 4, which are the minutes from the March 14th council meeting. So I need a motion to approve the minutes from that meeting, please.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. And now we have the city manager's report.
Sorry, Mayor, get a chance to catch up here. Have a,
I abstained from, I was not here the last meeting, so just wanted to make that clear.
I have several items for council's attention, and several scheduling items. I understand that the council members may have some scheduling conflicts with our next regularly scheduled meeting, which would be April 25th. However, I do believe with completion of today's agenda, the business, I don't believe there will be a need for a second meeting in April. This is also around the time of year when council typically modifies your schedule, planning for a single meeting a month for May, June, July, and August. That both tends to better accommodate schedules as well as allows opportunities for committee meetings as well as possible work sessions if the need arises. If council wishes to modify your schedule to suit those possibilities, a motion would be in order.
Does anyone want to make that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you.
Another scheduling item on Friday, May 6th. One City for Recovery is holding a Derby Gala at the Manor House as a fundraiser. This council in the past has, and this is pre-COVID, has supported this event. And if you're interested in authorizing attendance by council members as well as staff, as has occurred in previous years, a motion would again be appropriate.
Okay, does anyone want to make that motion?
Make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you.
Holidays coming up, and just to announce, City Mason offices will be closed this Friday in observance of Good Friday. The community center will be open regular operating hours on Friday, but then on Easter Sunday, the 17th, the community center will have limited hours and limited access, but will remain open. Waste collection for the community will not be affected by the holiday. Tax returns are due. They're due Monday, April 18th, so 1 week from today. Residents can file, they can have their taxes calculated and filed online, which is becoming increasingly efficient and popular. They can also drop their information in the City of Mason's Dropbox and have those prepared for you. They do have extended hours this week, as well as Monday, April 18th, to help accommodate folks that are trying to meet that deadline. April 20th, the Warren County Municipal League, their monthly meeting will be held at the Golden Lamb beginning at 6 p.m. With Common Pleas Court Judge Timothy Tepp as the speaker. And then Wednesday, April 27th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the Community Center's Spring Shop Local event. This is always just a very popular event. It features Mason area merchants, home sales reps. There's a variety of gift items that are available for purchase. It tends to generate a lot of attention, a lot of traffic. The following day, on Thursday, April 28th, Safe on Main, which is formerly known as the Abuse and Rape Crisis Shelter, is holding their gala event at the Manor House. The city does have a service agreement with Safe and will have representatives in attendance. And then final item, I do have a liquor permit. It is a new permit for Tortelier, I can't do two things at once. Tortilleria Garcia, doing business as Tortilleria Garcia. It's a D1 and a D3, which is beer only for on-premises consumption and in sealed containers for carryout until 1 a.m., and spirituous liquor for on-premises consumption only until 1 a.m. Council can, via motion, request a hearing or not request a hearing be held.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
Make a motion we not request a hearing.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. We're on to item number 6. We have recognition of visitors. Do we have anyone that would like to come to the podium? If so, will you please state your name and address? Thank you.
My name is Tom Grossman, 4533 Morris Court, and I came tonight because of Chief Carter and his resignation and his retirement. And of course, I was here for 11 years when he was a sergeant, I guess, and then became an assistant chief. And I left to be on the county commission just when he then became the chief. So you guys have honored him tonight, and he deserves every bit of that. I also would like to mention that tomorrow is our State of the County address, sponsored by the Area Progress Council. It starts at 11:30 at Shaker Run. I hope that all of you can attend that. You're all invited, even if you haven't made a reservation. I believe that you can do that still and come tomorrow. Probably will start around noon, so they have check-in, et cetera, about that. But for those in the community and those of you who might not come to it, you know, the commissioners are the taxing, spending, and the budgeting authority for the county. So we're very much involved, obviously, with the economics of the county, and that's a large part of what we'll be discussing tomorrow, and we'll be doing that in detail. But, you know, when I was on council, Mason, for the first time, became a AAA ranked bond rating with Moody's Investor Service. And in 2017, our county was one of only 3 counties in Ohio that received Moody's top AAA bond rating, which we've received in 2019 and 2021 as well. In addition, we also have done everything we could to keep our debt low. We only have $1 million of debt on our general fund, and that will be paid off this year. All remaining debt is scheduled to be paid off in 2023. We also have been ranked in the top 3% of counties in 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. We obviously had a crisis with the pandemic, and during that period, the county did as much as it could to help, and it helped schools. We wanted to keep our schools open. We had $2.6 million of relief that we gave to public schools for COVID-related costs to keep them open. We also gave almost $450,000 to private schools. And we, in addition, had a program to help small businesses, child care centers, and nonprofits where we provided relief of over $1 million. We also wanted to keep people in their homes. And we had a program for renters and landlords of almost $2.6 million. So in that period of time, we did everything we could to help our families in need, and our businesses, and our nonprofits, and our child daycare centers. We also have built the largest capital improvement project in the county, which is a new jail, which I know everybody wants to visit. And it's a wonderful facility, actually, but it was budgeted for $58 million, and we brought it under budget by $5 million. So we will talk about more of those types of things tomorrow. I hope that you all can come. If you have any questions, I'll answer them now, or you can hear about it all tomorrow. And thank you very much. It's always fun to come back to you all.
Commissioner, I have a quick question. Is that ever made available by video for anybody that might want to see it that cannot attend?
I don't know. I mean, it's an Area Progress Council sponsored event.
Okay.
And I am not aware that it is. I mean, it's wonderful that you guys have a lot of your, obviously, you're all on ICRC. We are now also broadcast with the County Commission. That wasn't originally the case, but it is now. So people watch that and comment to us all the time about it. But I don't know, but I will find out. And I've never seen a camera there. I doubt that it is. It's a Shaker Run as well, so it would have to have a crew coming out. But I certainly would love to have that be the case. But we've got a lot that we're doing, and you'll hear much more about it from my fellow commissioners, Dave Young and Shannon Joan, tomorrow. I'm the president of the commission, but by and large, I will be focusing on letting them tell the story of our county. We also, by the way, you guys, we don't have any jurisdiction over municipalities. We do, of course, budget and fund the countywide offices that do things for everybody. But you are your own jurisdiction. We don't have jurisdiction over you. We do have jurisdiction over non-incorporated parts of the county, the townships. And we can do zoning for them and provide other services. We provide water services and sewer services. Not for you, you have all of that yourself. But we're doing soft water now. We're having, because we have well water. And we're doing softening that's going to be online this year for our 2 water treatment plants. So in any event, we keep taxes low, spending low, and quality of service high. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Anyone else would like to come forward?
Yeah.
Will you please state your name and your address?
Take care.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Jack McEnany. I live at 4584 Cobblestone Court. I've never attended a council meeting before, but I'm here tonight in regards to agenda item 22. So I just wanted to request when the council gets to that in the agenda that I just be given a few minutes to, at that time, provide some concerns regarding that agenda item, which relates to the expansion or connection of the bike trail in Corbin-Nixon Park.
Sir, you're welcome to do that right now.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I will do that then.
Okay.
I apologize. I bought a couple pictures for you to look at, which will help illustrate the points I'm trying to make. So is it okay if I just hand them and you share them down? I only have enough. I'm sorry. How do I do that? I'm sorry. So while he's working on calling that up, maybe I could just keep going forward in the interest of time. So there we go. So as I understand it, I was made aware on Friday of this past week that the plan is for the existing bike trail, which as you enter Corbin-Nixon Park is on the north side of that road, right, which is here, will then come across and then be extended along this pathway to tie into the existing bike trail. I had an opportunity to speak with Steve Hartke, the Assistant City Engineer. I just want to acknowledge that he was very responsive and very professional, and I greatly appreciated the information that he shared. But the concerns I have with the current plan are as follows. If you are actually on the Corbin-Nixon Park entranceway, currently, on the south side of that is a swale that is designed to catch the runoff from that road. And that whole road is actually one long decline. So all the water drains into this grassy space, which you can see right here where my finger is. If you look at my understanding of where they plan to tie in the bike path, there's about 16 feet from the edge of the road to the property line of my neighbor's property. I happen to live on that edge, but it'll be right where my neighbor's house is. I'm concerned that if you look at the swale, which is there now, if you're gonna put a 10-foot wide bike path there and then still provide a buffer against the road, I'm concerned about what happens to the drainage because that swale goes away. So as it is, most of that area will drain through there. It'll end up in my backyard. The city engineer's office was actually kind enough about 10 years ago when I first raised this to do some work out there to improve the depth of the swale to try to keep that runoff from going into the backyard. The other thing that I'm concerned about is safety. I live back there. I see how fast those high school kids drive coming around that curve. There used to be a fence on both sides of that road. Couple weeks, well, probably about a month ago, somebody went through the end of that fence and ended up in that grassy area. And about 2 weeks after that, there was another car that ended up back there stuck in the mud as well. So that fence, which ran right along here on this side of the road, has now been taken down. My understanding is there would be a plan to put some landscaping there along the way as a safety measure. But given how quickly those kids drive and the momentum that would happen, I'm concerned that there could be a safety risk for those that are on that bike path. And so what I am here today is to ask two things specifically of council and the engineer's office. One is to formally study what would happen around the runoff for that before that project is finalized in terms of the plans for the path, but also to ask you to consider an alternative. And it's a little hard to see here on the chart, but it would be possible to simply continue the bike trail on the same side of the road as it is today. So it would keep it on the north side of the road. So what I've tried to draw here is a red line on this document. I'll show it with my finger just to highlight it. You could just have it go straight across the entrance and continue along the inside of the road to the point where there would be a natural connection with the existing bike trail, which would be right here where my finger is. I think what that could do is a couple things. First, if you just physically go out there and stand, that land is absolutely flat and there's plenty of space. So you wouldn't have to worry about trying to regrade and deal with the drainage. I didn't measure it specifically, but you can just tell by looking, it would be a shorter length of time of pavement, so it might actually keep your costs down. And then it would help address the safety, because the other thing that happens is for kids who want to ride their bikes to that park, right? If they're coming in on the existing bike trail, they would have to navigate through the parking lot, which can also get crowded and busy. This way they could just stay on the bike trail and then have access directly to the playground as well. If there was a concern about having that crossover point, which would require some signage and potentially a crosswalk, in the middle of the curve, which would be here, you could just as easily continue to extend that bike path up all the way to this point where there's already an existing intersection and stop sign. So the reason I'm here, as I said, just in conclusion, my ask would be that the council consider two things. One, a formal study of what will happen in terms of drainage and runoff. And the significance of that is you have that entire length of road that is draining in that direction. It's not just that little space because of the way the land is sloped. And to formally consider relocating or reassessing the path of the extension and putting it on the north side of the road, which I believe would be a shorter distance and be safer for those using the path. So thank you for your time and listening to me tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. When we get to item 22, we'll try to address these for you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone else would like to come forward? Okay, please state your name and your address when you get to the podium.
Hi, my name is Pranav Permat, and I'm located on 3231 Armor Court. So I'm here today because I'm actually a Boy Scout and located in Troop 43 here in Mason, Ohio. And I'm working on a merit badge for for citizenship in the community. And for one of the requirements, I have to attend a city council meeting and then analyze it. And so I'm here to do that. And this is my first meeting here too. So thanks.
Well, thank you very much, and we're glad to have you. I'm very supportive of Boy Scouts. I think it's very honorable that you are in Boy Scouts. Thank you. If you need anything else from us to help you earn your badge, let us know, okay? All right, anyone else want to come forward? Okay. We have already completed item 7, so we are to item 8, which is Resolution 2022-6. I need a motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Declaring May 2022 as Service Department Month in Mason.
All right, thank you. Jennifer?
Yes, Mayor, members of council. Annually, the City Council has authorized individual pieces of legislation that acknowledge the efforts of our Public Works Department, our Public Utilities Department, as well as our Engineering and Building Department. A number of years ago, we began a movement to a service department model where equipment and resources are prioritized and shared to more effectively accomplish overall organizational objectives. With that move, it seems more appropriate to request one single piece of legislation that promotes the service department as one unit in their efforts towards the city's core values for communication, coordination, collaboration, cost savings, and compassion. Mason's service department plays a significant role for why residents and businesses choose to locate to Mason. Whether it's the roadways, parks, projects, building safety, planning and zoning, signature services such as snow and ice removal, leaf pickup, brush removal, or critical operations of the wastewater treatment plant, Mason can be proud of the employees working in these areas who take ownership and pride in making Mason one of the premier communities in the state as well as the region. The service department is a key component of economic development and its ability to retain and recruit businesses to Mason. We just want to thank employees of the service department and their work to support safety, health, and well-being, improving the quality of life of residents and businesses in Mason. With that, Resolution 2022-6 is recommended for adoption. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spath?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, item 9, ordinance 2022-46. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Jeff?
Approval of the record plat of Degree Properties.
Okay, I believe Kurt, you have this one?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. This plat is one that's for the property located on Reading Road, just south of Western Road Plaza, which will be home to Degree Landscaping. This plat is creating 2 lots, one for the new landscaping facility and the second for a future facility. It also dedicates right-of-way for the property to meet the thoroughfare plan. So with that, ordinance 2022-46 is recommended for adoption, and I forgot to mention, this did go to Planning Commission last Tuesday and was recommended for adoption as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion to adopt.
So moved.
Any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spath?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson? Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Okay, item 10, ordinance 2022-47. I need a motion to read by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Approval of the replat of Fallingbrook Phase B, Block D.
Okay, Kurt, I think you have this one again.
Yes, thank you. This also went to last Tuesday's Planning Commission meeting, and it is for the condominiums at Fallingbrook. Phase B, Block D, is shifting some property lines from lots 228 to 223 for a storm sewer easement to provide better spacing. And then it also, on Lot 20, it reduces an existing 20-foot storm sewer easement down to 15 feet, and that's a private storm sewer easement. So with that, ordinance 2022-47.
All right, thank you, Kurt. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt. Any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spath?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Okay, item 11, ordinance 2022-48. A motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with A&A Safety, Inc. in the amount of $56,400 for maintenance of traffic required for the railroad surface crossing improvement at US 42 and Tylersville Road.
Kurt?
This is a project that's probably been 10-plus years in the making, and by the day is needed more and more. For the replacement of the crossing of the railroad across the US 42 Tylersville intersection. This portion is part of the city's need to fulfill the project. We were required to pay 20% of the cost. It was estimated at $600,000, plus we were to do some of the maintenance of traffic for the project. The cost, the bids actually came in at $360,000, so that reduced our portion for the construction down to $72,000 from what was planned to be $120,000. And this work is slated to take place between June and August while school is out. School, I believe, starts August 15th. The current low bidder, I believe, has the first week of August as their tentative start date. We are trying to actively move that up so we have more of a buffer between when school starts. But this ordinance tonight is for the the concrete barrier that's needed for it to close that intersection area so that the railroad crews can work. It'll replace it with a tub style, so there's be precast panels that are put below the rail, and there'll be continuous pieces of rail. They always try to do that through intersections so that the rail doesn't bounce at all through the intersection. And this should be a much better crossing than we have today. We constantly get complaints and refer those to the railroad crews to try to patch the holes. And so while this is a needed improvement, it will certainly be a disruption to the community as there's 40,000 or so cars a day go through this intersection. And so the detour will be pretty significant for both Reading Road and Tylersville Road. So with that, A&A Safety was the only bidder. We did ask 4 different contractors to bid it. The main reason the other couple didn't submit was for the amount of concrete barrier that's needed on both sides of the rail to properly protect that area. So with that, ordinance 2022-48 is recommended for adoption in the amount of $56,400 for A&A Safety. Answer any questions?
All right, thank you, Kurt. Can I have a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading?
So moved.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt. Is there any council discussion? Yes. Oh,
What's going on with these speakers? Do you hear that? It's over here, it's both of these things. You hear that, Jack? It's driving me bonkers, like my AD, it's like going. Yeah. It's here too, so I think it's both of these or something, so. It comes and goes, I still hear it. Yeah, I hear it on this side, right? Tell me when I'm losing the line. Yeah, it just comes and goes. Can you hear it, Mayor? I mean, we'll just have to, I just didn't know if it was a quick fix.
Static.
Do we think we have it? Do we have it fixed? Okay. I apologize. Let's continue on and see if we can get through this. I apologize. Okay, no, thanks for bringing it to our attention. I actually couldn't hear it, but is there any council discussion on this ordinance? I did have something I want to say. This makes me a little nervous about the traffic situation just because I live right there, and also that is such a major cut through from one interstate to the other. How is traffic going to be detoured? I mean, I can just see everyone like getting caught and turning around in that section in between 42 and Mason Montgomery because they don't.
On Tylersville Road, you're saying? So the good thing about, I guess, maybe the only good thing about the railroad going at an angle through the intersection is it'll prevent that situation. So if you're going westbound on Tylersville towards 42, you'll be able to make a right turn onto 42. So you would kind of loop back around. The detour will be Mason Montgomery Road south to Western Row Road to Snyder Road, or they could go down all the way to 42 and take 42 back up. But so either direction, there's kind of a bailout where a semi would never need to turn around. They would just have to go up 42 and then come back down Mason Montgomery and take the detour.
So people essentially will be going back through downtown?
If they went the wrong way.
Yeah.
But the detours will be on Reading Road as you're approaching Mason Montgomery, and it'll detour you down Mason Montgomery. And about the time everybody figures out the detour, we'll have it open back up. So
I know
It'll be a mess.
it's badly needed, but I am hoping
we'll
for
have
that to go quickly because,
changeable message boards, we'll try to, get it done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
What is the
Yes.
time frame on that? How long? did you s- I didn't.
We're saying 10 to 14 days. The contractor is hopeful they can get it done sooner than that, but I would plan on 2 weeks, and then if it's less, then that's better.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone else have anything they want to say? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman.
Yes.
Okay, item 12, ordinance 2022-49. I need a motion to read by title only. All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Stauffer Site Services for the Western Row Road Culvert Replacement and Improvements Project in an amount not to exceed $97,000.
Okay, Kurt, I think you're up again.
Yes, thank you. This is a culvert under Western Row Road that is on Western Road, just to the west of US 42, right in the intersection. And when we get heavy rains, there's an existing concrete storm pipe that backs up and causes water about a foot deep in Western Row Road. And then it also goes on some of the adjacent private property. The existing infrastructure there needs to be replaced. This project would replace a manhole with a larger manhole, and that would be able to take a larger culvert pipe and would greatly reduce the issue during heavy rain events. We did have $100,000 in the budget this year for this project, and the plan would be to get this work done before we do the resurfacing work on Western Row Road. It will require closing Western Row just between basically the roundabout, where the roundabout construction took place last year at Butler Warren, and US 42 for a couple weeks while this work is done. And Stauffer Site Services is currently working on a sanitary sewer project for us up at Mason Mall, Mill Grove, and 42, and they would not start this work until that project is complete. So ordinance 2022-49 is recommended for adoption. I'll answer any questions that you have.
All right, thank you, Kurt. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt? Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item 13, ordinance 2022-50. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Brightview Landscape Services for median irrigation and landscaping replacement.
Okay, Jennifer, I think you have this one.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, if you don't mind, I'd like to cover the next two pieces of legislation. With that, in the 1990s, the city began a movement towards the development of roadway medians to improve safety for pedestrians and motorists. These medians help direct pedestrians to crosswalks as well as to certain areas of the roadway, keeping them safer. It also slows down traffic and helps prevent head-on collisions. These medians serve that necessary safety feature, but also they add to our community aesthetics. They are aging, they're 20 years old. The irrigation system in these are breaking down from the sun as well as the other weather conditions. Lots of the landscaping in the medians either died off, been destroyed in some of the accidents, which is indicating that the medians are working as anticipated. And some of the plants are just old and aging, getting overgrown. During the budget process, staff proposed a plan to begin a replacement program over the next several years. Staff is asking council to approve two ordinances tonight that would begin the implementation of this plan for this year. The ordinances are for two commercial irrigation companies. What we'd like to do is throughout the year get competitive pricing from each of those, much like we did with the street tree replacement program. What we're finding out is prices are changing rapidly right now with the economy. There's also a tough time finding staffing in order to get the work done. So we're hoping between the two companies, we're able to get not only the competitive pricing, but the staff we need in order to make, to replace these medians. While each piece of the legislation authorized contracts for $125,000, whether we use one or both of the contractors, we will not exceed $125,000 in total. With that, ordinance 2022-50 and 51 are recommended for adoption. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth.
Yes. Okay, item 14, ordinance 2022-51. Motion to read by title only, please. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Vanderwist of Cincinnati, Inc. for median irrigation and landscaping replacement.
Okay, and Jennifer, you've covered this. Anything else to add? No? Okay. All right, a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? A motion to adopt? Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Chance? Yes. Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson.
Okay, item 15, ordinance 2022-52. A motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Affirming the appointment of Maxwell Kinman as city prosecutor and establishing the compensation for prosecution services and declaring an emergency.
Okay, Eric, I think you have this one.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, one of the city's responsibilities is to provide prosecution for all matters in Mason Municipal Court. In fact, the city's charter identifies the law director as being responsible for providing those services unless they're provided or securing those services. Last year, the prosecutor took another position as a magistrate, which put Jeff Forbes as law director in position of identifying in rapid order a qualified local attorney to assume those responsibilities as of January 1st. Fortunately, there was Max Kinman, who is a local attorney with the AWK Legal. He was recommended by the previous prosecutor, had a familiarity both with Mason Municipal Court, the confidence of Mason police officers, and has served at this point as interim prosecutor since that point in time. Council via Ordinance 2022-10 did authorize Max Kinman as the interim city prosecutor. By all accounts, he has been successful. In the last 3 months, he's had the opportunity to become better acquainted with the functions, responsibilities of court. Both Jeff Forbes, law director, and I have worked to secure a mutually agreeable agreement with Max to continue providing ongoing prosecuting services. We've done that in an environment where there is some uncertainty. Certainly the caseload is increasing, and because of some logistical changes in court, as well as some statutory requirements that are foreseen in the near future, the amount of services required are increasing, but we've been able to contain the costs by working with Max as well as through his firm, AWK Legal, to help contain those costs. With that, Ordinance 2252 is recommended for adoption.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
I'm sorry, I failed to mention there is an emergency clause on this ordinance to allow those services to continue uninterrupted.
Okay, thank you again. Motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any council discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, to the city manager, part of the additional, as I recall, is the state may be requiring that somebody that's been arrested be arraigned within 24 hours. So if you're arrested on Friday, you got to be arraigned on a Saturday. If you're arrested on a Saturday, you got to be arraigned on a Sunday. Is that correct?
That's what we understand, and also understand that Mason Court, somewhat in preparation for that, has established additional arraignment days than what were previously in place.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is one of the virtues in how we tried to structure this by using a local legal firm. There are other attorneys, other staff that will be able to help pick up the excess days.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, let's have roll call then.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, item 16, ordinance 2022-53. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Capital Electronics in the amount of $62,388 for the replacement of 2 outdoor warning sirens.
All right, thank you. Jennifer.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, last year, council put in a plan to replace 10 of the city's oldest outdoor warning sirens over the next few years. Last year, we replaced 2. This year, we're looking to replace 2 more of the 5 of the ones that are still remaining. Just to give you some context here, they were put in between 1994 and 2004, so they're aging. $65,000 was placed in the 2022 budget to continue the program. I just want to remind everybody that these sirens are only intended to be heard outside by those that are away from available means of notification. They're not intended to be heard inside where you have television, radio, and other resources available to be warned of bad weather, pending bad weather. With that, ordinance 2022-53 is recommended for adoption. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Second?
Council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 17, ordinance 2022-54. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Mobilecom, Inc. for the removal, transfer, purchase, and installation of equipment into 4 police vehicles in the amount of $58,800.
Okay, I believe, Jennifer, this is yours.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, ordinance 2022-54 is for items needed to fully equip our police cruisers and place them into frontline service for police services. Just want to remind everybody that last year in December, council approved the purchase of 4 Ford Interceptor police vehicles. The city has not taken delivery of those vehicles. The latest update is that we will not receive them until hopefully this December. We continue to see these significant supply chain issues as well as price increases for many of the items that we need for city services. We are currently being told, or just recently found out, that this equipment for these police cruisers could take up to a year for delivery. So that's why we're placing legislation in front of you this evening. If you recall, when we order police cruisers and they come in, they go into inventory where they're used as pool vehicles and other resources for the city until, as we use up every ounce of useful life in the cruisers that we have. If one goes down or it has to go out of service, then we can pull one of these from inventory. We're a little bit nervous here with this equipment taking a year to receive. Hopefully it's a year. But with that, like I said, we're asking for legislation tonight to move this purchase forward, get our quote or get our request into our contractor forum and hopefully get this equipment in time. An emergency clause has been added to ordinance 2022-54, again, to just expedite this purchase process. We recommend this for adoption. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? I need a motion to adopt.
Second?
Any council discussion? Yes.
I apologize if I missed this. How does this wait time compare to wait time in the past? I know it's long, but
Well, it's history since I've been here. It used to take like 9 months to get them in, so this is taking now 12 months. So you
Yeah.
can see that they're
Okay, I'm glad we're moving forward on this. Public safety is job number one, so it's important that we get this going. We trust in your advice. Thank you.
More recent years, you probably noticed, I think we were getting them quicker because they had them on the lots or
Oh,
were
yeah.
available, so we could pull them in quicker than we have historically. But looks like we're back to.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grossman? Yes. Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Okay, we're at item 18, Ordinance 2022-55. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing a contribution of $100,000 to the Warren County Drug Task Force.
Okay, Eric?
Thank you, Mayor. Since its inception, the City of Mason has been a financial participant in the Drug Task Force. Early years would make contributions annually. The model that evolved was communities in the county would contribute $1 per population based on the census. About 4 years ago, and then the city actually took it upon itself to increase those dollar amounts, specifying dollars to help combat the opioid crisis. About 4 years ago, however, that model was disrupted, or the model that the Drug Task Force uses was disrupted when forfeiture and seizure laws were modified, which disallowed them to generate a lot of the revenues they were through the arrests they were making. At that point in time, the Drug Task Force was going to have to make dramatic cuts without funding other revenue sources. One of those was the Task Force Drug Diversion Program was jeopardized without funding situation being improved. The Drug Diversion Program is specific to prescription drug crime, which was identified as frequently the gateway to opioid abuse. The Safety Committee and then Council at that time identified that as a priority, and the committee recommended the city provide funding of $100,000 a year with the understanding that that would maintain the drug diversion program. And that amount has been what has continued annually since that point in time. And for their part, the Drug Task Force has maintained an aggressive drug diversion program. These funds also, as part of their model, continue to be used by Warren County. The city's funds are then used to leverage other grant, state and federal monies to help round out the funding for the Drug Task Force. The Drug Task Force provides a number of resources directly to Mason Police for both investigation as well as equipment, as well as referrals for criminal activity that unfortunately is in Mason. The task force has once again asked the city for a $100,000 contribution to continue funding the Drug Task Force, or the Drug Diversion Program, and the Council Safety Committee had reviewed this and is recommending continued participation at that level. Therefore, Ordinance 2255 is recommended.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Second?
Is there any council discussion? Okay, I just want to emphasize to our viewers that the Warren County Drug Task Force provides a service that our police officers would not be able to do because of manpower and also,
These are very specialized cases.
so they're a very vital part of an organization, an agency that we work with. So I just wanted to emphasize that. Does anyone else want to say anything?
Mayor?
Yes.
So I was on council a while ago when you were the chair of the safety committee. And I just want to thank you for all your support for the Warren County Drug Force, because you have always been a huge proponent of them. You fought a lot to get funding increased in the past as well. So I was happy to see this, and I thought about you. And I just want to say thank you for supporting this, because it's such an important issue within our community. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, let's have roll call.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Okay, item 19, ordinance 2022-56. I need a motion to read by title only.
Moved?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Rozzie's Famous Fireworks in an amount not to exceed $36,440 to provide fireworks for the 2022 Red Rhythm and Boom event.
Okay, Eric.
Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to address the next three ordinances together. They're all related to Red Rhythm Boom. I think council is familiar with all three of the items. They consist of support or ancillary services for that event. I think the message here in all three is that despite some economic uncertainties, certain inflationary times, I believe costs have been contained. In some instances, services enhanced through these. The fireworks is again through Rozzie's, and they have a 3% increase over last year, but they continue to provide the most value for the money in terms of number, size, length of the show. Kids Zone attractions, we have worked with Super Games for a variety of years. This year, the same price as for previous years, but some additional or some new activities and attractions, such as a 9-hole putt-putt course, slides, bounce houses, a trackless train, will supplement some of the services that we're familiar with on that. And they will continue with those dollars, assist with coordinating, securing food vendors. And just for folks watching, want to make sure for local Mason businesses interested in participating as a food or a non-food vendor, the applications are now available on the city's website through May. And then finally, Rumpke provides a number of services, both noticed and unnoticed, in expanding from portalettes to the trailers, which provide a more comfortable restroom situation, as well as waste receptacles and dumpsters throughout the event. They provided a cost through our municipal contract for those services in line with previous years. All three of those provide very important services that allow us to move forward with the logistical undertaking of providing Red Rhythm and Boom. I do hope that our next council meeting, in fact, I expect our next council meeting will be able to publicly announce the entertainment that is being secured for the 2022 event, Red Rhythm Boom. All three are recommended.
Thank you, Eric. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt. Any council discussion? I just want to say I'm really looking forward to this. Is going to be a really fun weekend because this is also the weekend we'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Grizzly Golf Course and Social Lodge. Did I say that correctly? The new rebranding. So that's going to be a really fun weekend.
Mayor?
Yes.
And Kings Island, 50th anniversary.
Well, they're a little bit earlier. It's not that same weekend,
I
but
think there's going to be also some celebration that weekend that we're going to be.
okay. It's going to be good. Let's hope for good weather. Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Spaeth,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula.
Yes.
Okay, item 20, ordinance 2022-57, a motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Super Games in an amount not to exceed $55,000 for kids' entertainment attractions for the 2022 Red Rhythm and Boom event.
Okay, I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for of adoption after the first reading.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
Moved?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, I just want to say it's really awesome that the price has remained the same all these years, especially with everything going on now, so kudos to Super Games. Okay, anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth.
Yes. Item 21, ordinance 2022-58, a motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Rumpke in an amount not to exceed $20,000 to provide trash disposal services and portable bathrooms for the 2022 Red Rhythm and Boom event.
Okay, I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? A motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Item 22, ordinance 2022-59, a motion to read by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Naira Paving, Inc. for asphalt work at the Municipal Center, citywide bike path maintenance, and new bike path connection at Corwin-Nixon Park in the amount of $274,123.
Okay, Kurt.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. This ordinance comprises several things, as Jeff mentioned. The first is the Municipal Center parking lot. That would be the north and south lots of this building. A couple of years ago, we resurfaced the two lots to the east of the building, and then this would be the south and north lots. We have already done some of the under drain work. We had some water issues in some of the parking lots that have led to some of the deterioration that we've done in-house, and then this was in the budget to resurface those two lots after 20 years of life, if you can believe it. We've already been here 20 years in this building. Once that's done, in probably 3 years or so, we'll seal coat all of the lots in the on the parking area around the building, and then we'll be on a regular maintenance schedule from there. The citywide bike path maintenance, we got pricing on seal coating and removing tripping hazards, and then also doing crack sealing of our bike paths. This is, and, Jennifer, if you could put the podium up. We have a map. This, the area is highlighted, actually shows what is included in this bid. Despite the cost of oil being up, we got a great bid from Naira on doing this seal coating and removing the trip hazards. So everything highlighted on the map would be what's included in this seal coating work. So we got a great price that we'd like to take advantage of. And then finally, the Nixon Park bike path connection that was mentioned earlier is a connection of two paths in the Corwin-Nixon Park area. And Naira gave us pricing that's actually a little below Barrett's pricing from last year's program. In regard to some of the questions raised by the resident, we did look at some of the options that he proposed. We would rather have that crossing be at the intersection where you would enter into that parking lot rather than in the curve like he was suggesting, partially down. The reason that path was stopped where it was currently is the thought was that people could go through the parking lot and go over and connect with that current path. And if you are out there and utilize that path at all, there's kind of a worn area off of the edge of that path where it goes over to the other path where we'd like to put it in. If we were to put it on the other side of the road and go all the way down to the intersection, we just think people are still going to go that way that's worn into the grass as it is. So I understand his concerns with drainage. We will probably have to put a small storm pipe in under the path, and we also, looking at it in the field, we'll probably need to put that crossing, ideally would be on the west side of the intersection, so there's just one crossing. With the tree line and some of the drainage out there, it may work out better on the east side of that intersection, so you would just cross that driveway and then cross across the Nixon Park Drive. So we think we can get the path in there without causing any additional drainage issues and be where residents would utilize the path. It'd be the safest option. So with that, we would recommend ordinance 2022-59 for Naira paving for just over $274,000. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you, Kurt. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for the adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any council discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. McEnany, for raising your concerns today. So just question for Kurt on the, it sounds like you are considering alternatives for how to design it at this point. And on the drainage, we're responsible to make sure the drainage doesn't change, correct? Or doesn't get any worse. It stays the same or gets better with that construction.
Right.
Okay, and I think that's called not changing the riparian rights.
Right, riparian rights, yeah.
Thank
Water
you,
flows
okay.
downhill, yeah.
All right, so I hope that helps Mr. McEnany as they make their plans and do their designs and studies, that they will be conscientious, and if it's not right, then we're going to be responsible for it, right?
And I should add too, another option we have is we try to have our paths at 10 feet. There are situations where we bring it down to 8 or 7 feet. So another option is to narrow the path in that section so that we can get it through there. So as a third option to help with that situation. So.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so Kurt, so as the gentleman suggested, you don't think it's necessary to have like a flood study? You've got it under control? Okay. I appreciate you waiting this long to sit here for this, and I do encourage you to continue to talk to our engineering department if you still have concerns once things move forward, because I think you brought some very valid concerns to us today. Thank you very much. Okay.
Mayor,
I'm sorry, who was next? I'm sorry.
I was just going to add, apart from that issue, just wanted to highlight, this is fairly significant when you look at the number of bike paths in the city. Serious investment commitment to maintaining those at an excellent price when occurs at 85%.
Of the paths that we maintain, yes, yeah.
And there's a huge, it's been a growing number for some years. This is a fairly big deal. Apart from that small addition that, that we're discussing, the number of bike paths that'll be reconditioned based on this is a big investment and a great price we were able to do it at, which is surprising given this year.
All right, thank you. Yes, Count.
Yeah, just real quick, Mr. is it McEnany? It was, your big concern was more of the water flow and the irrigation and all that stuff, correct? Okay. Okay, and it sounds like we have a pretty good handle on that then, so, excellent. But, to echo what everyone else said, I appreciate you coming out and raising that, because without that, we can't have the dialogue and have everybody feeling comfortable moving forward, so I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, anyone else want to make a comment? Okay. I need roll call, please.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spate?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, item 23, ordinance 2022-60. A motion to read by title only, please. Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, Jeff.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Christmas Designs in an amount not to exceed $50,000 for holiday decorations.
Okay, Jennifer.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, a main attraction of the holiday season is always Christmas in Mason and the annual tree lighting ceremony. Unfortunately, if you notice this past year, our holiday tree on the plaza experienced lighting issues and was continuously either half-lit or partially lit throughout the season. The tree is 5 years old. It's been exposed to the elements. Staff, it's a pre-lit tree, and the staff did try to remove the lighting and put new lights on it. We were unsuccessful in that just because of the way the lights have been added to the tree. And annually, we add Christmas lights throughout the city, whether lights get damaged or the trees get bigger in diameter. So we're continuously adding to our Christmas tree lighting, again, throughout the city. This past year, we did pilot a program where we would leave the Christmas lights up in downtown. We thought that would create some additional interest as well as continue the community spirit throughout the winter season. Unfortunately, that was probably a bad decision with the weather. It kind of blew things off trees. Trucks came by and would hit the lights, and so we damaged more lights than probably anything on that. So I think moving forward in the future, the lights will come down as quickly as possible after the holiday season. The holiday decorations are a very popular attraction over at the community center. We have a number of families that visits, take their family photos over there. And we know that the Aquatic Center, which is now going to be open 365 days of the year, is going to be another location for us where families are going to enjoy that holiday spirit. In 2020, Ordinance 2022-60 replaces our holiday tree downtown on the plaza. It adds lights for the Aquatic Center, as well as replace and adds additional lighting throughout our community. The Community and Recreation Committee did review this and are recommending Ordinance 2022-60 for adoption. If committee members have any other additional comments, free.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Council discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to go on the record. I wanted the lights up year-round. I thought that would have been an incredible situation, but obviously it was a bad decision. So it was the first one I've ever made on council, so.
I was one of those
appreciate
that
you
thought it
pointing
was a
that
good
out.
idea.
Yeah, but
We're cracking up over here because in the meeting, we were like, no, Christmas is over, take them down. And he was all for it, so we compromised on March. So
we
we're
still said it was a bad decision after the first one, so. But
Okay,
I
anyone
appreciate
else?
you guys doing this, so this is awesome.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Heckey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Okay, item 24, ordinance 2022-61, a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Champlin Architecture in the amount not to exceed $45,440 for the preparation of criteria documents and associated services for design build of park patron service facilities.
Kurt, I think you have this one.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mason has 7 parks and over 300 acres of parkland that are very popular amenities for residents and non-residents alike. Many of those have restroom facilities within these parks that are aging. And we took a look at what we're going to have for both existing park needs and future park needs, and thought it would be best to move forward with something like what we're proposing tonight. A criteria document is a document that would include a matrix of options that we could use to quickly get an RFP out for a design build contractor that would, a contractor and an architect would be on a team to design and construct the improvements. It's the most, what we found more recently is it's the most cost-effective way to design and build a project like this. In the past, we would have fully designed the restroom facility, and then maybe we wouldn't know, for instance, a light fixture that the architect selected is a really expensive light fixture when we just had, if we had a criteria document that said we need this lighting level and this style of light, we could have had a more cost-effective and maybe less issues for long-term maintenance. So just one of, another example I can think of is a criteria document might say you need 3 toilets. Well, we don't necessarily select what exact model of toilet it is. We let the architect and the contractor come up with some options or cost-benefit savings that they could have with their design of the facility. So the first project that was actually in the budget this year was the Pine Hill Park, the design of that restroom facility replacement. So what we're proposing to do is that's one that would likely have many of the options we would have. So we could break it into a modular design, maybe not just the restroom, but many of our parks need an IT closet for both the prox cards that we use to get into the facility, maybe the gates at some of the fencing, things like that. So although it doesn't seem like it, many of our parks have IT needs. It might have a community room, it might have a outdoor patio area, so things like that. And so with the Pine Hill Park, replacement, it's likely to have most, if not all, of those modular options that we would need. And so by designing that criteria document for Pine Hill, we can then use that different pieces of that modular design on future park designs in other parks that as needed. So with that, that goal in mind of having a modular design, the 22 budget did include facility design for Pine Hill. And as I said, we'd like to move forward with this criteria document design process. And I'll mention the architect that we're working with on this this project, Champlin Architecture, would not be in the running, so they know that in the future when we put any of these park projects out, because they created the criteria documents, they could not team with a contractor to actually bid on this project and be on the design team. So with that, Ordinance 2022-61 is recommended for adoption. And if I didn't confuse you, I'll answer any questions that you have.
All right, thank you, Kurt. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
So moved.
Was there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, okay. Council discussion? Yes.
Yes, Mayor. Council, I hope that you will join me in supporting this ordinance. I believe this will be helpful for staff moving forward too when they're considering applying for grants. And a grant from the state is basically the state giving us back some of the taxes that we pay so we can use it on a particular project. And so one of the things we hope to be able to get a grant for is the dog park design, which we'll tell you a little bit more about later. But this modular design would be beneficial in putting restroom facilities at the trailhead and the dog park area at Mason Sports Park. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the case, that this will be very helpful. So I'm glad we're moving forward on that.
Yeah, great point.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Okay, item 25, ordinance 2022-62, a motion to read by title only.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Cdwg for the purchase of hardware and licensing to replace and upgrade the existing citywide backup server system.
Okay, I think Jennifer, you have this one?
Mayor, members of council, as Jeff indicated, this provides for the replacement of the city's backup server system, which is a critical piece of our infrastructure for providing continuity of services during emergency situations. Our existing system was purchased in 2017. It's reaching the end of its warranty along with its support agreements. The new system will include enhanced security features to protect us against ransomware attacks. The 2022 budget included $310,000 for the purchase of a system. We are using the state cooperative purchasing program for this purchase. Ordinance 2022-62 is recommended for adoption. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? I need a motion to adopt. Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Okay, we are to item 26, committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report today? Yes, Councilmember
Yeah.
Chance.
I'm looking forward to Thursday. There's been a lot of comparison with Mason and Carmel, Indiana, and myself and Councilmember Hackey have set up some meetings over there to go and sit down and look at some of the projects that they have done, the process that they followed. So we're going to meet with their economic development and some other various people inside Carmel, Indiana. And then have the ability to sit down with the mayor just to truly understand
process, how they went through it. So I'm curious to, as the downtown committee chair, to understand that. And then just on the golf cart side, on the golf cart committee, I was wondering, do we have a timeline when the golf carts are getting in? I was out there today for a lunch meeting, and it seems like it's starting to continuously get pushed back. Do we know?
The latest we have heard is that they'll be in production in June, so we expect them in July. We don't know that they'll be before our 50th anniversary. Most likely not. So, yeah, most likely not.
Wait, if that doesn't happen, working with that company to be able to possibly lease some updated carts or nicer carts, if we're going to be doing anything out there, I think is something maybe we should look at, because
We do have 20 carts coming mid-April that were part of the original golf cart purchase. They were to give us 20 carts to get us by until the new carts came in. So we had to replace some batteries in some of the carts that are out there to keep them going for full 2 rounds throughout the day. And then with those 20 carts, we should have a good 80 carts that are available. Yep.
And my last thing, it's not really a committee per se, but I had the opportunity to go up to a conference in Columbus last week. It's called Smart Cities Conference. Went for work, but there was a lot of takeaways that I was looking at for the city. One thing that I saw there was a lot of these big cities creating a ton of bureaucracy. But there was also some really cool concepts with the public-private partnerships and being able, essentially talking about what we're doing with the parks. And, we've talked several times about what a sustainability committee might look like. And being able, there was some technology out there that, especially if we're looking at our downtown, looking to improve our downtown. Again, a lot of it is, I just sit there and look, and it drives me crazy when, the governments are just, continuously building all of these verticals or all of these committees inside, the corporate or the government veil. And I can just see why they're having a difficult time getting any traction. But they're, like I said, pulling out of that, the technology, they had a ton of, in the conference, you could walk around to all the different booths and seeing some of the things, things that we could put into our parks, put into some of our safety things with the technology out there. I would just encourage, I don't know who that might be, just to, there is a local guy, I forget it, Colin, I forget his last name. He's just right over in Westchester, and he's someone that will take a look at and basically give you a plan and a process of what that could look like. And I think it would be, pun intended here, smart for us to start looking at that type of thing because, we're revered as a city and staying on top of stuff like that, which I know we do when it comes to obviously our sewer plan and some of the technologies that we implement inside, some of the safety concerns. But I think with where we're going now with some of that stuff, I think there's some really, really cool things that we could partner with some groups out there that are doing some neat things, especially when we're looking at a downtown development. So I just wanted to put that out on the radar, and I don't know who would kind of pick that up, but there is, just to have a conversation on some of the things that they're doing and what they would look at, and then maybe some suggestions that they could have for us, so.
Okay, thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome.
Okay. Anyone else have a committee report? Yes.
Mayor, I have a couple questions about the report on the downtown committee. Would it be okay to ask? Okay, Member Chance had, and the committee had asked for a tabling or a delay on making any kind of decisions or moving forward on our zoning changes for the comprehensive plan update. And I asked at that time, I think this was in December, for a list of deliverables that we could expect from the committee and the Maid Chamber CDC, who are asking for more time. And we haven't gotten those yet. So I didn't know if you had those prepared today or if you can prepare a memo, because we're moving down to a once a month meeting and we're already halfway through and we haven't been given a reason why we needed to delay this or a list of deliverables and reasons why. Could we have that
Yeah, I think there is a date.
Prepared for us?
Like a target date, right? You want to answer that? Yeah.
What can we expect to be delivered by the
I know
target
there's
date?
been a lot of communication with Eric and Sherry, so what that looks like, where that lies, I think that's, a separate conversation that we have to have in order to understand where that, it's a work in progress, and I think we are all, rowing in the same direction of wanting to make sure it gets there. I want it to get there, I want to see it done, but I also want to see it done in a process, in a manner that is, it's going to fit what we want to do moving forward, because I think we've all had that discussion is, are we doing it in the right process? And I know, December to, we're 4 months down the path a little bit, but I look at 4 months as not a whole lot of time in the event that we were making the right decisions on the front end, opposed to just doing something just to get it done. So Eric, do you have anything to add to that with conversations with Sherry or the maid chamber?
I think I would add, and maybe twofold here, there are conversations. Council held a work session. Downtown Committee has met with the maid chamber, so there's ongoing dialogue. Sherry Taylor and I have had a couple of meetings, committed some other discussion back and forth. To the zoning code update specifically, I'm not working on any deliverables specific to that. That is due, and I want to say, Kurt, maybe June. It was tabled until our June meeting. So absent any other activity from the Downtown Committee, you will see it on the June agenda, regardless of what other activities occurred. So there's the relationship building, certainly with the CDC, the maid CDC and the maid chamber. I think that'll continue to evolve to June and beyond. But at a minimum, at the June meeting, that will be back on your agenda for consideration.
We can't even talk about it until the June meeting, correct?
It is tabled until that meeting unless the Downtown Committee were to recommend earlier.
Okay.
Mayor, so
Yeah.
there's,
Mayor? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, she's not,
so
Council
I
President,
still
finish up.
don't know what the list of deliverables is to be given to council, other than building a relationship with the maid CDC. We understand that the zoning code update will return to the agenda in June, but we were never given specifics. Those were, yeah, I mean, I know you answered me, but you didn't give me a specific list of actual things that will be accomplished by the time we get to June when we see this item back on our agenda. What is it that the maid chamber thinks was not done that they will do, or the maid chamber CDC and the downtown committee?
Well, the process is always to go through the committee, and I think that's what the Downtown Committee is working through, and it will be back on our agenda in June. So I think that we will have those deliverables by then, and that's my anticipation of what will happen. Those conversations are continuing. I think it would be very premature to start reporting on anything that has not been permanently decided on or ready to vote on. So I think we're going to have to wait till June, and that's what my take on it is. Do you have something different on that, Eric?
As you describe a list of deliverables that are, or changes to the zoning code update, I do not have any, and I haven't discussed those with anyone. The focus has been on the relationship and a trajectory for the future with the CDC and the chamber. So and maybe that is I'm not aware of a list of deliverables. I guess is what I'm saying. I'm working on a relationship and a trajectory for the future. So I'm trying to be helpful, but I'm also a little confused.
No, I think I might be able to help add a little bit and clarify there that discussing this in the past, it's trying to figure out, like I said, we use this word a lot, but I think it's extremely appropriate right now, is the process, right? Is the master plan, and to your point, I remember in 2018, it was, hey, let's look at the zoning first and then a master plan to follow. But looking at this now, it's really, I think, in theory, that looking at a master plan to point to the zoning aspect. So it's trying to figure out, the cart before the horse. So that's really the equation we're trying to figure out right now. And again, I'm willing to stretch that out and delay that to make sure
that we are following that. And like I said, you know, I can't wait till Thursday to where I can ask a city that has been extremely successful at doing this, that has an extremely vibrant downtown, vibrant arts and arts culture. You know, they have a ton of different things that they offer, and I really want to understand what was done and what was the process. So hopefully, I mean, at least I can report back, and we can report back when we come back in, I guess not in 2 weeks. We're not coming back in 2 weeks, but whenever that is. But if there's a memo that I could put out with something that I learned, I'm more than willing to do that, and I can send that through Eric, and he can send it out.
That'd be great. Thank you. Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
So the Arts Committee met, and we're super excited. We have a number of different things that we're talking about. Nothing has really been set in stone, so I don't want to go too far, but I'll give you a little bit of a teaser. We are working on a arts and shop program. One day out of the month, you can shop, and you'll have a starting point and an ending point, and maybe use the Dora and carry your drink and listen to music and look at art and shop with our local companies, local businesses. So I will have more details for you after our next meeting. We're working on a Southwest Philharmonic Orchestra performance, which is going to be Star Wars and Beyond, a John Williams 90th birthday celebration. And we're looking at August for that, so we will have the date and specifics hopefully by the next meeting. I also just wanted to remind everyone, let me get my notes here. The Mason Symphony Orchestra has a performance coming up that I highly recommend going to, and that's on May 7th, which is a Saturday, and it's at the Mason United Methodist Church. I believe it's the day before Mother's Day, so a great gift for Mom. And this is the Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. And I've been to their last concert, extremely impressive, a great feel of community. So if you're interested in getting tickets for that, you could go to the masonsymphonyorchestra.org and click on Get Tickets. But hopefully I'll have more news for you at the next meeting.
Did you say that's at Heritage Presbyterian or no?
Nope, it's at Mason United Methodist Church.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank
And
you.
it's 7:30 on May 7th,
Okay.
the day before Mother's Day.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else have a committee report? Okay, yes.
Hi, Mayor. Thank you very much. Council, we met as a Recreation and Community Committee, or Community and Recreation. I think I got that backwards. We talked about many things. One of the things we talked about was the opening of the Mason Municipal Aquatic Center, and it was open during spring break. I got to stop by and visit. It is so beautiful inside. It's very impressive. There were lots of kids swimming. Apparently there was a line of about 200 people waiting to come in and swim the first day. It's very toasty in there, just so you know, if you want to come in and swim laps or play on the Wibbit system. It's an inflatable obstacle course that floats on the water. And one of the kids there reported to me that it is not that hard and it's very fun. So we could probably handle it if we wanted to suit up and try the Wibbit's obstacle course. It's just a beautiful facility. And there is a ceremony and tour on Monday, April 18th at 6 p.m. We invite the community to join us. We'll be there, and you can see this beautiful facility. And I'm glad, by the way, that we're going to light it up for the holidays. All right. We also discussed our dog park again. And we are anticipating legislation soon. I'm glad we got to talk about the modular design work for park amenities. As you know, we have a trailhead at the Mason Sports Park where the dog park will be located. And so it would be great to add facilities as we move on down the road. We do have a strong canine contingency in the city of Mason. And I don't want to pressure anyone here on in this body, but they would like for you to vote for all things yes regarding the dog park so that we can move that forward. Things like fencing, surfacing, design, shade, etc. We talked about all of those things, and the committee is excited about moving forward on that. We talked about Fridays on the Plaza. Believe it or not, summer is coming. We'll have our Friday night concerts in June and July. There will be 2 bands each night. Dan, our clerk, also plans these events. He's a wonderful planner, and he's got the bands. You've got the bands selected, correct?
That is correct.
Yep, he's got his lineup. He's ready to go on that. And one of the things we discussed, council, and we wanted to talk to you about is whether or not to do a block party downtown this year, as we have in the past, where we did a bigger Friday night, or should we focus some of that energy and attention on the 50th anniversary of the golf course? So something to be thinking about if we want to make any plans for that or direct staff in any way. And we talked about holiday supplies already, and we have improvements coming to Corwin-Nixon Park. You may have noticed a memo in your packet. In addition to connecting the bike path, we'll be replacing the fencing that got knocked down and resurfacing the playground there. And I think that's all I have today.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
On that block party, was that always held like the very first concert? Is it? Yes.
We've done it a couple different ways. We've done the first concert. We've also done the first and last. We discussed in the committee kind of basing the block party on participation from some of our small business and vendors, as opposed to filling the footprint with more activities if there wasn't interest from vendors. So we plan on sending out a letter to downtown businesses here in the near future to ask for participation, and it'll be up on our website here in the near future as well.
So there is going to be a block party, or you're hoping there'll be a block party? Is that what you're saying?
At this,
People will.
staff are planning on a block party
Okay.
scenario at the end, yes.
Okay, great. Yes.
Yeah, because I think we talk about this in the downtown committee as well, right? So I don't know if there's overlap or we talked about all the concert series and the block party. So yeah, we're totally in favor of that. I think it's just identifying the time and when and where and all that good stuff. So yeah, we've, obviously they've been huge successes. And if you go out and talk to anyone in the crowd or people in the community, they're always, asking, can we do it more? So yeah, so downtown committee has talked about that a lot, and we're completely in favor of that. And I think there's a lot of programming that we could do with the 50th anniversary as well, so.
It's probably opportune to add some of the overlap and discussion is with Heritage Festival in September and interest, and right now the staff are planning on that being returned to downtown Mason, which poses other logistical efforts, but also other opportunities for participation. So there is, our discussions do sometimes run parallel or
Okay, great, thank you. That April 18th Aquatic Center ceremony, what time is that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, okay, great.
Monday, April 18th, 6 o'clock.
All right. Does anybody else have a committee report? All right. We are to item 27, which is old and new business. Does anyone have anything to add or say?
Okay. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
So this week, Governor DeWine announced that he is increasing the amount of the grant funding available to help local law enforcement reduce incidences and violence in their communities. The Ohio Violent Grant Reduction Program, which was initially launched last year with $8 million from state operating budget, it will now total $58 million. And the additional $50 million will be from the ARPA, which is the American Recovery Plan Act. Law enforcement agencies and local government entities are eligible applicants. And I talked to Eric briefly today to make sure that Mason's going to apply because it's due April 25th. And he is going to look into it, and hopefully we can get some money.
I have an answer.
Oh, good, you did, okay.
When the funding was only $8 million, the constraints were too, Mason didn't have the crime stats actually to participate effectively. At the $58 million funding level, there's a lot more optimism that we'll be able to
Good.
to get some of those funds.
Great. So you have to apply by April 25th at 5 o'clock. So we're running out of time here.
I bet.
So get our people on it.
Right on it.
Good, awesome, thank you.
No pressure, Eric.
Since it's April, it's only appropriate that a CPA reports on pending tax legislation at the state level that impacts our municipalities. On March 30th, the House Ways and Means Committee adopted House Bill 519. The bill limits the penalty a municipal corporation may impose for the failure to timely file a municipal income tax return. Currently, a municipal corporation may impose a penalty of $25 for each month a taxpayer fails to file the required income tax or withholding return, up to $150 for each return. The bill reduces these penalties to a one-time $25 penalty. The bill further exempts a taxpayer's first failure to timely file from the penalty, requiring a municipal corporation to refund the penalty after the taxpayer files the return. Also in that same bill, there is a proposal on when a taxpayer submits an extension of time to pay. I'm sorry, not time to pay. It's an extension of time to file, not time to pay. This bill will prohibit a municipal tax administrator from sending an inquiry or a notice regarding where the return is until after the taxpayer files the return or the extended due date passes. If a tax administrator sends a prohibited inquiry or notice, the municipality must reimburse the taxpayer for any reasonable cost incurred in responding to it. As you know, anytime a taxpayer receives a letter, the first thing that they do is hand it to their CPA. The CPA has to write a letter. They charge fees to the taxpayer, when in reality, the taxpayer is compliant. There's fees involved with all of that, and this law should help eliminate those fees and the confusion that happens with the taxpayer when they get the letter. It will also save the municipality time and money by not sending out unnecessary letters and then having to read the response and document the response in the account. It only seems natural to me to wait until after the taxpayer actually misses the deadline before a city will start to ask them where their return is. So I'm following that right now to see where that goes. That's House Bill 519, and it will move now to the Senate and Ways Means Committee, and I'll keep you posted. The next one is Senate Bill 246, which passed the Senate unanimously on March 16th. In 2017, if you remember, the Tax Cuts and Job Act imposed a $10,000 cap on the amount of state and local taxes that Ohio taxpayers can deduct off of their federal returns. Not only Ohio, but all of anyone filing a federal return. This was a huge blow to a lot of taxpayers. This bill will work around that to help pass-through entities stay competitive with C corporations, because C corporations can deduct state and local taxes on their corporate returns. Therefore, the shareholders don't have to use up that $10,000. This bill will allow the pass-through entity corporation to file an Ohio return if they choose to, and deduct the state taxes against the pass-through entity level, therefore leaving that $10,000 state and local tax deduction free to be able to use at their level and not using it up by the pass-through entity taxes. 20 other states have passed similar laws, and I bet that Ohio will as well. So if you have any questions, I know it's kind of complex for a non-tax person, but you followed, right?
Yeah.
See? You did.
I think
If you have a K-1 or you're a pass-through, you'll know what I'm talking about, because this impacts you. That is my update. Thank you.
Okay, my head was not spinning on that now. Does anyone else have anything they want to mention? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I've had this curiosity, and I wrote a sticky note for our Finance Committee Chair, Member Stricula. Question about, I wish this was not real or surreal, but it's real. Inflation is really impacting all of us, all families. And I'm wondering what that impact may be in the next year or two with COLA increases as we consider how to navigate with our financial planning as a city and paying and compensating our employees as we move forward in 2023, 24. The Biden administration kept saying this inflation was transitory, but it seems to be sticking and permanent. And I know that it's a struggle for a lot of families to adjust. So I would imagine that we're going to have to make have some kind of dialogue about that at some point. But, Warren County was able to give a tax holiday to all of its property owners. There were no property taxes charged this year, none paid this year, but I don't know that Mason has that type of capability. And we're just a whole different kind of entity without a huge surplus like Warren County had. So Just things to think about in the old and new business. And since you brought up the taxes, that was a perfect segue. Thank you for that report. And Member Stricula, if I might task you with that as the Finance Committee Chair.
Mayor. Yeah, we haven't spoken about this specifically, but I did speak with Mr. Hanson last week about scheduling a Finance Committee meeting in the near future, so this can definitely be something we bring up. So thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, we are to item 28, recognition of visitors. Is there anyone out there that would like to come back up to the podium? Yes, sir. Please come up. And we need you to state your name because we don't know who you are and your address. But we do know who you are.
which was the ordinance 2022-660. And it was concerning the contract with the Christmas designs for the $50,000 holiday decorations. The reason I'm reminiscing about this is I think it's great. I mean, Mason does a wonderful job in what they do as far as the Christmas decorations. And especially after the last couple of years and the last year when they did it, it sort of brought everybody's spirits up because of the pandemic and everything else that we were going through. I know it just was really pretty at night to go through the town and just see it. And it brings me back to probably close to 54 years ago when we started the Chamber of Commerce. And the first project that the Chamber did, which we wanted to do so badly, was get some Christmas decorations. The city, or I go back, the city didn't have anything like that. And that was one of our goals, and that was the very first project that we did. We went around, and at that time, it was not the population it is now. Remember that, back in 1968. We went around, and we tapped the businesses and said, can you help us? We need some money to buy some decorations. And we collected $2,500. That was the amount we had. Now it's $50,000, and we, the chamber, people, put the lights up ourselves. We didn't have anybody helping us. We did it ourselves. And CG&E, which is now Duke Energy, were the ones that actually came up and put the electricity in so that we could have the decorations in basically the first 2 blocks of downtown Mason. And that was the Christmas lights that originally happened. And now I see this, and it really makes me happy to see that this is occurring with Mason, and I think it's a great thing. I hope that the western part of Mason, and even going down a little bit down Reading Road, and certainly in the east end of town, that they get decorations as well, because it's well-deserved. But I just want to thank the city for doing that, because it sure brought back memories of that $2,500 and climbing on trucks, and a truck that we borrowed from Bar's Furniture and climbed up on that top of that truck to put these decorations up ourselves. And I think that was great, but thank you so much for doing this.
Mr. Williams, have you or anyone documented these stories that you have of how everything originated? Because I love the history of
Yeah, I did. I had a scrapbook that I started from scratch with the chamber and have given it to the chamber, and that is in the that's in the scrapbook.
It's in the okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, because they're so important that people know
Yeah.
how everything got started.
We didn't have anything back then.
Yeah.
And we got it started. That's how it started. It was that way, and the graciousness of the small businesses in this community at that time, and they gave us enough money that we could purchase these.
Well, thank you very much, because it's people like you that brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
And you're still here, every meeting, which I am so impressed.
Yeah, I'm way in the back now.
Your dedication to our community is just remarkable.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Okay, thanks.
Mayor?
Yes.
Hey, before Mr. Williams sits down, I just want to bring up, Mr. Williams spoke at the Kiwanis meeting on Thursday, and there was a fair amount from city staff that was there, but he spoke on the history of, a little bit of history of Mason, but specifically the municipal building and buildings, rather, and just appreciated his commentary, his stories, and appreciate you sharing some of those even today, but appreciate you coming in and sharing that with the Kiwanis as well. So thank you.
Enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. Williams, we have a couple of elves that are responsible for hanging those lights. Anytime you want to join them, I'm sure they'll happy to have you.
If you can
We
give
have
me
a
that,
bucket truck, though, now.
I was going to say, if you can give me that truck again, we'll go at it.
Thank you. Anyone else want to come back up? Okay, thank you very much. I think, Eric, do we need a motion for executive session this evening?
Yes, we do. I think the vice mayor had something.
Mayor,
No, I'm sorry, yes.
there's a birthday here on council.
No, there's not.
There
It's over.
is.
It's done.
There is. Mayor, it's your birthday, and we'd like to sing you a little song, and we have some cake in the back for you. So please join in and sing with me.
You guys can join in as well.
Yes.
So here.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much, and I like to brag. I am 62, and I'm proud of it. There you go.
Great. You look great.
Okay, now, do we need a motion for executive session tonight?
Yeah, I would like council to consider adding a brief executive session for property acquisition disposition.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to roll call. Okay.
Mayor Spade,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.